What we're doing. I'm Thomas. I am a drug addict. Tommy, thank you for asking me to speak here, and Matt for taking the meeting, and congratulations to the other Matt who just picked up 5 months. 8 and 9, man. 8 and 9. That's freedom steps, in my opinion. That's my experience. It is the freedom steps. I have been in and out of a 12-step program all of my adult life, and at just about every meeting, all you idiots would say either at the end of the meeting about these, I'll know this new happiness and this new freedom, and that's not my experience the first 13 years coming in and out of these rooms, right? And I chalked it up to over the years that this stuff don't work, right? And I had no idea that those promises you talk about are the 9th step promises. And who would have thought that I didn't do the 9th step and I didn't receive those promises? It's crazy. So I did all the things I'm sure most of us done coming in here, right? Like, I don't do anything unless I'm in an extreme amount of pain. And every time I come into these rooms, I do just a little bit more. Life gets a little easier and I stop. And I find out the last 2 people who sponsored me before this time, even after experiencing a bunch of pain, there's still stuff I don't do. And it's these amends, because I am terrified of doing these amends. Fear runs my life. I really don't see the connection on how this is going to help me, the most important person in the room. And life is going good, because I'm down in South Florida. I'm there for 5 or 6 or 7 years, right? And I think the last 2 years I probably had sponsors and got to this point, and life was going good, man. I had a place to sleep. It might have been a halfway house, but at least it wasn't mom and dad's house in the room I grew up in. I had a car and a girlfriend, and there's no reason for me to do these amends. And I can remember going over it with my sponsor before this time, and I'm sure he was thorough in his directions. I was just unwilling or incapable of hearing him or those directions. And I can remember buying into it, man. And we're in his apartment. I'm like, absolutely, man. We made this list out. This is what I'm going to do. And then I can remember getting in my car, driving back to my 3/4 house at the time. Wasn't in a halfway house anymore. And I was like, I'm not doing that. That's crazy. And my unwillingness does something to a guy like me. It sets me up to be dishonest in the future, right? Because any good sponsor, when I talk to him again, he's going to ask me how those amends are going. So I do what every good sponsor does, and I lie, right? And I don't lie about big ones, right? Mom and dad live in Newport Richie. They're visiting in a few months, so I got a few months to think of another excuse. But there was this kid that I was close with in high school, and he's not one of us. He was one of the main friend groups who stood in Newport Richie after all my other friends deserted me and went to college. And I started doing my thing, obviously. We weren't close anymore because he wasn't sticking needles in his arm. He frowned upon that stuff. But I needed money to get my script out. It's such freedom in this room. I can talk about whatever I want. I needed money to get my script out, right? And I don't know about you guys, when I'm getting loaded, I hang out with losers doing the same stuff I do, so no one has money. But this one guy, his name's Sean, he had money. So I call him, rekindle our friendship, and I was like, listen, bro, I need I don't remember, it was $2,000 or something. And it's you can make money, I'm going to do all the work, all the legwork. This is the deal of the century. And he likes to make money just like everyone else, so he came and gave me that money. And what I did, best intentions, like every other decision in my life, and I went and got that script, and I just forgot to sell all those fucking pills. I did them all. And whatever. What happened was he blew up my phone, unknowing to me. His mother, great mom, just like my mom, monitored his bank account and was like, why you have $2,000 less, and freaked out, and he eventually had to tell her. And then he showed up at my house, and my mom had to cut him a check, right? And I'd hidden in my room. So anyway, that's the amends I lied about to the sponsor before this time. And I was like, yeah, no, I don't have his number, but I reached out to him on Facebook, man. I wrote him this real nice message. And I'm sure he asked why, and I'm sure I made some bullshit up. And inevitably, I get loaded again, and I can't understand why. I can't, right? And this book tells me that my purpose in life is to be of maximum service to God and his kids. And I am incapable of doing that when I got all this dirt on me, right? I cannot be of use with all this dirt on me. And this time around, I don't know, I mean, it's hard, like, it's kind of weird being on this side of the fence, right? Because I had, like, a pretty powerful first step experience. And, like, after a first step experience, this kind of, if anyone's new here and not on the amends, by the way, like, don't worry about it. These steps are in order for a reason. But it just kind of flows into each other, right? Like, this time I got in contact with the power. And I was sold out that I was gonna get loaded again. And I knew it. From, like, the bottom of my soul, I knew I was going to fuck up again, and I didn't want to. And, you know, that's not to say that these men's don't terrify me even to today. It's like my least favorite and favorite step. But I was sold out on this deal, and we get to this point this time, and my sponsor tells me, I was like, oh, I got to make I know what's coming. It's not my first rodeo. I was like, I got to make a list. And he's like, you already got your list. I'm like, what are you talking about? And he was like, we made it on the fourth step. I'm like, oh, shit, I should have left a few people on. And then he's like, what we do now, we add to it, right? And clear-cut directions, right? This stuff is I have the honor of sponsoring guys today, and I get it. They're all like, oh, what do I do? Blah, blah, blah. But clear-cut direction. We have a precise way of staying sober today. And he tells me those clear-cut directions, man. Let's make a plan. Who we doing first? And this book tells me it's better for me if I go to someone who hates me, but I'm a little bitch. I don't do that. I go to mom, dad, and the wife. And the first one I did was with my wife. We were living at my parents' house, of course, because we have zero money because I burnt our life to the ground. And this... We make no bones about our drinking. They usually know anyway, this chapter says. And so we don't use that as an excuse. And I just tell her my sponsor suggested to me that you get nitty and gritty with this stuff, right? You get, like, pretty real. I'm a shitbag of a husband. I treated you horribly over the last 9 months. I've done horrible things to you, and that's no way for a husband to act. And, you know, God willing, I'm going to change my behavior, and that'll never happen again, right? And, you know, thankfully, she let me off the hook because she had little knowledge about this program. She knows a lot about it now. So she says, you know, we should probably circle back on that. I got a few things. And then the second one was my mother. Again, I'm living at her house where every tough guy ends up, in mom's house. And we're at the counter, and she's in the kitchen, and I'm on the other side. And I was like, hey. And she pretty much knows what's coming. This is not my first time in a 12-step program, and I tell her the same stuff, man. Like, you know, I'm a horrible, horrible son. Like, I have stole from you, not only material things, like all this like jewelry that my father has bought her over the years that was real sentimental to her, and money, but like more importantly, I stole time from her, right? Like, I've shaved years off her life from her worrying about me and slowly killing myself, or her having to watch me do that. And I tell her these things, and I'm pretty confident. Mom loves me. She's a good mom. She's gonna let me off the hook, man. And I go, these clear-cut directions, right? You say, I'm wrong for blah, 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 right? I'm gonna change my behavior. It was wrong of me. And then you ask them, here's the real kicker, if no one's on this, you ask them, is there anything I forgot or missed, right? And that's a terrifying couple of minutes when they're silent. And this book also tells me you don't argue, we don't criticize, we don't talk about their defects, you take it on the chin, right? Because this is not about them, this is about me and my wrongs. And I ask her that, and she stares at me, and I'm nervous, and I'm shaking, and she's like, you're going to have to give me a little time to think about it. And I'm up all night thinking about it, and what's she going to say? I have no money. And, she did let me off. She told me she let me off the hook. She said, just keep doing what you're doing, basically. And then I remember by guidance from you guys, right? Like, she let me off the hook, but like my amends is showing up as a son today, right? Like, she knows if she needs me, she can count on me. It's something as small as texts in the morning. Mom, I love you. Thank you. Stuff like that, which I'm a shitbag at. I miss every couple of weeks. But it's things like that. And then, man, I like it's just freedom, man. Those promises come true in my life when I start doing this work, right? And those promises and that freedom is so powerful that I forget about the rest of these amends as I'm staying sober, right? Like, oh, I'm good, right? And I can remember, like, bro, this dirt that I do, these harms have such control over me. My wife and I was like 2 or 3 years sober, right? And she's never been to New York. And I owe an amends to my uncle in New York. And I avoided an entire state for 3 years. That's how powerful this fear is in my life. And finally, everything's going good. I'm spiritual now. I don't fear nothing. I'm a man of God. And she's like, I want to go to New York. And whatever, we go to New York. And I know I have to make this amends to my uncle. And the amends was when I was 20, he opened up his home to me. Right? It was, I think, my grandfather's idea to send me up to New York to get me away from Newport Richie, because there's no drugs up there. And he opened up his home to me. He had a wife. He had 2 stepkids. They were a lot younger than me. And he took time out of his life. His wife, begrudgingly, I'm sure, by convincing from him, she was a bigwig at some big hospital in Queens, and she got me a job. Like, they, pulled all the barriers from me. Here's just one more opportunity I squandered away, right? And what I did is I took advantage of his love, man. I lied to him. He told me, he goes, this is how much you're making. I'm taking this much out of your paycheck. And at first I was a little offended. I was like, you charge me rent? What kind of family member are you? And he's like, I'm saving this for you. And when you got enough to buy your own place, I'm going to give it to you. And I'm going to help you move. Like, what? It's like his life doesn't even depend on this stuff. It's insane. And I lied to him. I stole his booze. I friggin' put strain on his marriage. I had no idea of this at the time. They're divorced now. I have no idea at the time. Not because of me, I don't think. I didn't help, that's for sure. I definitely did not help. But his marriage was, they were having some problems, and I just added to those problems. So the plan was, here's my magical plan that always usually turns out, right, when I have my hands all over it. We're going up to New York. We're going to stay at his house for one night, and then we're going to the city for 3 days, and we're going to the airport from the city and leaving. I had every opportunity that night to make that amends, and I did not do it because fear controls my goddamn life, right? And I'm feeling good. And I would love to tell everyone that me not doing that ate up the entire 3 days in the city and I had a miserable time. I didn't. It was great. And I'm sure it was in the back of my mind, but it wasn't eating my lunch. And thankfully, God works in spite of my dumbass. Because what happened was, I still don't believe it. So we leave Manhattan and we go to the airport. Flight's delayed an hour. Then the flight's delayed 2 hours. Then it's delayed 4 hours. And then they cancel the flight. And at this time in my life, my wife and I, we were pretty broke. We saved up all year to go on this trip. So it wasn't getting a hotel by the airport, right? The only option is to call Uncle Robert back up and ask if we could sleep at his house. And I remember in the airport, I'll just look up. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? And we go back. He says, of course. We go back to his house, and I remember I tried to call my sponsor. He didn't pick up, and but I've been trained well in Alcoholics Anonymous at this time, right? Like, I know what to do, and I take the opportunity and I tell him all the things I just told you, what I stole from that man. And he doesn't know anything about this program. He still really doesn't. And he said, okay, cool. Yeah, it sucked. You sucked. He told me, but I appreciate you acknowledging it. And it's just this freeing feeling, right? Like one more chip off the block, one more chip of the freedom, right? That I can look the world in the eye. And And it was cool. So my sponsor calls me back, and I'm like, bro, what are you doing, man? Look what God did. He landed an entire plane. And he's like, bro, I was at friggin' TN24, man. It's Monday night. And I was like, oh, yeah. I was too busy thinking of me to think where you were. And I was like, how was the meeting? He's like, good. We went over 8 and 9. And I was like, what the hell? It's just so cool, man. And because of this amends process, I can look the world in the eyes. I don't have to worry about going anywhere or seeing someone I owe money to, or like which is the juice, man, right? Because I spent years in this deal, and I was just this was always some type of barrier. I couldn't go there. I couldn't go to Delray Beach, Florida. I lived there, right? I still today owe a drug dealer probably $1,000. Right? And every time we go there, my head's on a swivel. And the last time we were there, I sat down with and this book also tells me that I need to consult with some other people. If I'm going to be self-righteous and friggin' harm other people by doing these amends, I cannot do that, right? Because that's defeats the process of this whole deal. So last time we're down there, we're eating, and I go late, because it was eating my lunch, right? It was late at night. We were at a Five Guys. I was like, of course, drug dealers are up late at night, and they go to Five Guys, I guess. And I was like, listen, and she knew who he was. And I was like, listen, I owe this dude money. And I'm just letting you know, if it's cool, I would like to go try to find him and give him this goddamn money back, please. And which is crazy. Which is absolutely crazy, right? But, this book tells me I'm a man of God today, and I don't crawl before no one. And what a confidence boost that is. No matter how scared I am, I was sold out on this deal some years ago, and I can walk into any room and fix my wrongs, and no matter what the consequences may be, because I know that God's got my back. And so it was good I talked to her, because she freaked out a little bit. She's like, you are not going to fit in the hood to go look for a drug dealer. It's not happening. And I was like, I get another resentment, which is a different step, and another step to get rid of it. But I don't know, man. This stuff's great, and just the process of Tommy asking me to do this, right? I am still selfish and self-centered to my freaking core, and I'm working this weekend, and I'm like, oh, let me listen to some 8 and 9 talk so I can get good material to impress my friends. And it was a Bob Darrell talk, and it was on 8 and 9. And the whole talk is about his parents, and specifically his father, and about how he caused all this harm, the same stuff we all do. And it wasn't until, his dad forgave him and everything, just like my dad did, but it wasn't until he started paying his dad back the money, even after he told him not to, that his dad started to respect him. I'm going to get teary-eyed, because then it starts eating my lunch. So I call my sponsor, I'm like, bro, I think I still owe my parents a fucking amends. And he's like, yeah, I think you do. Right? So I counsel with the wife. And I go, and she knows about this, right? Because over the years, it's, popped its head up. And my dad was a jewelry guy. He's from Brooklyn. He's some, skinny guinea, and he wears pinky rings and gold all the time. And he doesn't wear jewelry anymore, let's say that, right? Because it's gone. And a couple of weeks ago, we were having, Sunday dinner at their house, and my brother's going to a wedding, and he's like, hey, Dad, that watch you had, can I take it for the wedding? And my dad's like, no. And he's like, why? We're all at the table. And he's like, I don't have it anymore. And my brother's like, why? And he just looks at me, and I look at him, I go, I'm sorry. I don't even remember taking it, but I'm sure I did. Yeah. And so I still owe an amends to my parents, right? So I had a talk just the day before yesterday with the wife, and I go, hey, I got to do that. She's like, yeah, you said that 3 years ago. Why'd you do it? And I'm like, I owe them a lot of money. And she's like, you couldn't have picked a worse time to do this, right? We're about to have a baby, and they're expensive, I hear. And I was like, yeah, but all the more reason I got to do this, right? To help raise this kid to be a free man, so I can be a good example for this kid. And Alcoholics Anonymous is so damn powerful. It affects people that don't even suffer from alcoholism, man. Because my wife is not one of us. And she kind of disagreed, but she knows in her heart that this program works just as much as I do. And she was like, yeah, absolutely, have the convo with them, right? And I don't know what that looks like, but it's happening this weekend. And whatever it is, that's what I'm going to do, right? And I'll pay them a monthly rate until the day they die, right? Because I'm sure it's hundreds of thousands. And also, the guy I told you about, Sean, never made that friggin' amends, forgot all about it till today, right? Like, so how cool is God, right? You get asked to do something, and all this stuff starts arising. And I don't know. Again, hate these 8, 9. I hate them, but also love them, man, because I know that's where the freedom is. That's where the juice is, and I will reach out to that dude tonight on Facebook, see if he's willing to meet up. And man, and then other ones were just honestly kind of easy. Looking back at it, I'm sure at the time it felt like a real emergency, and I was bitching and moaning to everyone. But like easy, man. Like God just set me up to spike the ball. Like as I'm on these steps, and I do my wife and my mom, and a good buddy of my dad gave me a job. And I was cleaning bus stops in St. Pete, and he was the driver, and I was the guy getting out and cleaning the bus stops. It was a great time. And he was whatever, man. He was whatever. He was a hustler, right? He had a real job, but he also hustled stuff on the side, drugs or whatever. And he loaned me $500, and unbeknownst to him, I wasn't planning on paying him back. And when I get on this step and I do a little bit of action, Mom and my wife, all of a sudden God presents me with another opportunity, because that man talked to my father and was like, hey, Thomas, so the boss paid the guy, my dad's friend, he paid him. And because this guy was a pretty serious guy, man, you know, he's pretty serious. If I saw him in the street, it wouldn't have been fun for me. I'm weak and tiny. And he talked to my dad, and he wrote me a letter. And my dad's like, hey, Nick, this was like 3 days after I made an amends to my wife and my mother. And he gave me the letter, and he wrote me this letter, and obviously telling me I owe him $500. And it really hurt that I put him in this position. And so just one more opportunity, man. God just set me up to spike the ball, and I got to go there and make the amends and take it on the chin, because he's from England. He's not from here, and they're or this guy anyway. Throwing a blanket statement on the entire country, but this guy, I guess, wasn't open-minded to our deal here, right? And he was like, "Yeah, I'm happy you found a good woman to change your life around, and you really just needed some willpower, right?" And I took everything in me not to stand up and be like, if you knew the God I knew, and all this garbage, but I don't. I shut the hell up, because I get directions in my life. And I was able to pay that man back, and I opened up my own company, and he's in the same industry, and I got to call him when I opened up the company for advice, and he gave me some really good nuggets, man. And he came to my grandfather's funeral, and he gave me a big hug, and he was just like, hey, I know you're a fuck up most of your life, but listen, like my brother, for whatever reason, doesn't matter, wasn't there, and but I was. And he was like, you're the good son today. Like, whatever your brother's got going on, cool, but like, you show up for your family, and I couldn't be more proud of you, right? That doesn't happen if I don't make that amends. It doesn't happen. And then the last one, my grandfather. He, the best, man. The fucking best. All the times my parents, were sick of me and kicked me out of the house, like, Grandpa was there, right? And mostly because they're trying to protect him from me. They don't tell him about all the bullshit I'm doing. And I owed him $5,000 from just over the years of borrowing money. And I sit him down, and I tell him this deal, and I tell him how I'm a real shitbag, right? That's how all my amends start. And did I forget? What can I do to make it right is another direction they told me to do. And he goes, you can pay me my goddamn money back. And I was like, damn. And $5,000 might as well have been $5 million back in the day. I'm in within a year, definitely, of sobriety. And talk to the wife again, man, because we are not in the business of causing more harm. We are not today. Or I try not to be anyway. And we set up a payment plan, man. I think it was like $100 a month, and I'm paying him back, and I'm paying him back. And at the time, we had a car, and we didn't have insurance on the car. And my wife got a job in Clearwater, and she couldn't get there because the car wasn't legal. And I'm calling around, getting quotes, and we can't afford the insurance. And my grandfather randomly calls me. This is after the amends. And he's like, did you get the car on the road? Did you get the insurance? And I go, no, it's too expensive. And like no motive of like, hey, can you help me out or anything. I'm just being honest with my grandfather, trying to rebuild the relationship. And he goes, okay, well, get a quote and then tell me how much it is because I'm going to pay it. And I was like, no. Like, I haven't finished paying you back your money. Like, whatever. And he's like, listen, shut up. You need the car so your wife can get to work. Get the damn car. I'm going to help you. That doesn't happen if I don't put the work in and make the amends and follow it up with action. Right? Like, I can't remember what the book says, but I'm sorry doesn't cut it. Right? Like, I need to show up and I need to show up with some action behind my words. And I did. And because of that, he does this. Right? And then because we have a car now, like, I felt super guilty because I freaking hate myself still. And I'm like, I call my house, like, I got this car. I don't deserve this car. Like, I don't suffer from anger too much. I suffer from a bunch of self-pity that'll kill me sooner than any other emotion. And I'm like, I don't deserve this. And my sponsor does what every good sponsor does. He tells me to shut the hell up, bro, and you better fill that car up with new guys. Right? And because I made the amends to my grandfather, he got the insurance because of those amends. I'm able to have a car and fill it up with new guys. And that stuff doesn't happen if I don't show up and do this deal. And I'm pretty sure that's all I got, man.